So Moon Knight, which, as we mentioned, is a Disney Plus miniseries with Oscar Isaac, starring Oscar Isaac as the Moon Knight himself. It dropped down this week on Disney Plus, and we all had a chance to watch it. And we thought it would be really fun to watch, review it, and just kind of do it for the entirety of the season. So yeah, first episode, let's break it down. It wasn't too long, right? And what did you guys think? Like, was it a nice watch? Was it pleasant? How much did you know about Moon Knight before?
So I've never heard about Moon Knight once in my life.
Okay.
I wasn't familiar with the character, but I had seen a lot of hype building up around this show. People posting about it on social media, being like, this is different, this is crazy. And I had some high hopes going in. And, you know, I watched it and I thought, maybe I'm too old for superheroes. I literally had the thought, like, maybe I'm just getting old. But
you're not the target. Yeah. You're not the target audience. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not. You know, Oscar Isaac, I will say, he's doing 2 accents in this, which is neat, and he gets to do some trippy talking to his reflection stuff, which is, I always like that, you know, as a guy who talks to his reflection a lot. And it's you know, we see into this guy who's got dissociative personality disorder. He tries not to fall asleep because something creepy happens to him. And
what's his name? Mark Spector.
Mark Spector,
yeah.
Mark Spector, yeah.
Yep. And it actually brought back flashbacks of The Animal with Rob Schneider, where he's like, I can't fall asleep because at night I'll eat things, and I felt like I was watching The Animal. How's that for a review? Brian, what did you think?
Very, very interesting.
It's a ripoff.
Yeah.
But wait, before. But hang on, Brian, before you get out, just really quickly, because you mentioned accents, and we know, like, you, Andrew, are really good with accents, and you accent coach and stuff. So
I do.
How do you feel about his accent? Was it pretty good? Because there were moments where I cringed so hard. Having been, you know, raised in England, I was like, oh, you did not just say it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. When you're performing for primarily American audiences do not know the different kinds of British accents that exist.
Right.
And generally when you're performing, you're prioritizing, you know, the performance and the character. And what I will say is that there is a distinct difference between the characters of his British accent and his American accent. That's good acting. And I think bad acting would be more distracting to an audience than, like, you know, just a really cobbled together British accent, which is what most American imitations are. That's my analysis.
It wasn't bad. It was very noticeable.
Yeah,
like,
it just wasn't authentic.
Yeah,
That's
I know
fine.
what you're trying to do. He was trying to do Cockney accent, was it? Yeah, but it was just not flowing. Anyway, Brian, what about you? What did you think?
Yeah, this was very interesting to me. I mean, it's a bit of a mystery. Obviously, it kept me wanting to watch more. I thought the action was pretty lively. It had pretty good pace. It's intriguing. It's suspenseful. I mean, Oscar Isaac does a really good job playing 2 people here, you know, with the disorder that he has. And you want to know what's going to happen next. You want to know what's going to unfold with this story. I mean, because especially, like, you know, the ending to the first episode. I mean, he's like battling like this creature, this monster-like creature, you know, and you want to know what's going to happen next. But
spoiler alert, yeah. Totally forgot to mention that.
I know. Yeah, I always do the spoilers.
Oh, good.
Sorry
it's a review. It's a review.
Yeah,
Whoever's listening should have been warned. Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, we warned you. There's probably a graphic here, so don't get mad at us. We didn't do anything wrong.
But no, you know, overall, I was going through like the comments and stuff last night, and overall, it got pretty good reception. You know, there was
the reception is good.
Yeah, there was a couple haters on there that didn't really, you know, I remember one guy saying it was lukewarm and, you know, it was very predictable, and, you know, I didn't really understand that comment. But overall, yeah, the reception was pretty good. And, Ethan Hawke's character is very interesting. I want to know, exactly what's going on with him. What were you going to say, Max?
Yeah, I wanted to dive into that in a second. I completely agree with both of you, but at the same time, I disagree with the fact that it was predictable. I don't think it was predictable. It kept cards close to its chest, and I really enjoyed like the whole unfolding process and still not knowing what the hell is going on. But as that you mentioned Ethan Hawke, can we just appreciate Ethan Hawke as a villain, as a baddie? Because I didn't think I needed to see that until I actually experienced it. Because Ethan Hawke played always such likable characters that this performance was actually very unique experience for me personally. I don't know.
Yeah.
How did you feel about him?
Actually,
are you a fan of Ethan Hawke?
I will say he did a good job, because even now, reflecting on the character, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
I don't trust him at all.
Exactly.
And
I
the first
don't
time I
either.
saw him, I was like, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know about him.
He was giving off really, really weird vibes. Like when I first saw him, I'm like, what is this guy like up to? Like him breaking the glass, putting it in his shoes, stepping on the glass. And
Maybe,
I was like, what is he up to? Like, what is he
maybe
doing?
that's like the costume design, and maybe it's just really good acting. Like he's done the work to go like, I want people to feel how awful I am before I even open my mouth. A good actor can do that, He's doing it. He's effective as a slime ball, and that's the thing. He's slimy in this one.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything that was kind of weird to me about, like the first episode, I don't know if it's like that much of it's really not that big of a deal, but like the chase scene where, he's driving the cupcake truck or whatever that truck he's driving is.
Yeah, they did a lot with this whole idea that he can't drive, he's a vegan, he's like, they put a lot of, I don't know if that's even part of the original character, but like they've turned him into somebody, I guess trying to make him as docile and harmless as possible to juxtapose that with the assassin, the mercenary that lives inside his mind.
Yeah.
I don't know even how the whole mind personality thing is split up. I don't know how we're gonna, like, was he born as one guy and is he hiding in this other person's life?
Yeah.
We don't know.
But do you care? But do you care?
Do I
Because
care?
sometimes, yeah.
I
Like,
mean, I'm gonna be reviewing it for the next 5 weeks, so I'm
you should.
paying attention.
No, but because sometimes like series of films, they really try really hard for you to care about the character or like really get invested, and they try to catch your interest in a way. So you're like really excited into So do you feel that kind of connection or not yet? You haven't seen enough.
I care about as much, and I am invested about as much as I was in Rob Schneider's The Animal.
There is that. Oh my goodness, Brian, how do you know Ethan Hawke and stuff? Like, have you?
I know him. I know him a little.
Am I wrong? Yeah.
I don't really follow him too much. I mean, I know him from like Training Day and like other films like that. But like, I mean, this was definitely like a different kind of character for me for seeing Ethan Hawke in. So, I mean, it kind of threw me off a little bit, but it's interesting though, and like the character that he played, to Andrew's point, like it made you just want to like keep your eye on him, all the more. And just like really watch him and watch what he's doing, and which is like Andrew was pointing out, it's good acting, and but yeah, it was interesting for sure.
Don't you think he's gonna go like turn good at some point? I think he has good intentions. He's portrayed as a villain, so that's the predictability.
But I guess maybe that's the interesting thing about Moon Knight as a character, is that he's a mercenary. And if you're a mercenary, you're paid to fight. And so you have no moral ground that you stand on. You're constantly moving and saying like, oh, well, my morals are, a dollar amount. And if he's that morally gray, there's nothing to say that Ethan Hawke's character isn't also morally gray. Or let's say Ethan Hawke's character isn't morally gray. He's he firmly understands what he's doing. Maybe that actually puts him on a higher ethical, moral ground. And we're actually siding with somebody who's got nothing that he's attached to, which is actually kind of tough, to sympathize with.
Yeah.
They're making us side with somebody who has no moral compass.
Yeah.
So, and what about the voice? I'm guessing that's the true Moon Knight, the very deep voice. At first, I thought it was Liam Neeson. I was Googling it while I was watching. Is that him? But, okay, that voice was just way over the top for me.
I
That
agree.
just did not fit at all.
And it really overpowered every scene it was in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, compare it to Dune, where we had the voice, and it was it was integrated really interestingly, so it didn't feel like the voiceover from a commercial. This sort of felt like it was.
Exactly.
It just sort of felt like the voiceover from a commercial, and I was like, all right. I guess he's also in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it kind of reminded me of like Venom a little bit. Just a
Venom,
little.
yeah.
What?
Just a little bit.
Venom.
Venom. Yeah, just a little bit. The voice talking to him, and I mean, I kind of thought it was cool. You know what I mean? In the sense that it did remind me of Venom, but I don't know. Did you guys find like any kind of like comedic sense in like the voice, or?
You asking whether the character was comedic?
Yeah, because
it's this deep voice, and he's complaining
kind of
like,
got like
we
a
got the
comedic
idiot
like.
involved.
Yeah,
idiots in control now.
Because there wasn't a whole lot of like comedy in there.
Yeah, but there was. Actually, the whole performance of Oscar Isaac in the first 10 minutes, I mean, that's just great acting.
Yeah.
But he wasn't over the top, because he could have played like this typical loser that most of films and series try to make out of. But I thought it was done very tastefully. Like, I believe that someone like this exists, rather than he's just made for the story.
Do you think this character's a loser?
I mean, he's acting like one. No, the society thinks. That's the thing. The society thinks he's a loser. The society treats him as a loser.
Okay.
Like the museum, and he has a horrible boss. Why are you laughing? Is he not? He's not a loser.
I like making
he's
you
awesome.
think about
He's
that.
Moon Knight.
He's not a loser.
He's portrayed as one by He's not even portrayed, but like the society thinks of him. The guy who he works with, who knows perfectly well his name. He doesn't even remember his name. Little things like that. The only person he talks to is his fish. And oh my goodness, the whole thing when that was actually one of the best scenes, where you think he sees a scarab in the aquarium, right? And he's like, what is that? And I was convinced, it's going to be scarab. But turns out, no, he was just like, this fish had only one, what's it called? Tail? Not tail.
The fin?
And he went, yes, fin, one fin, or two fins, and now he has one. And the whole scene in the pet shop, I thought it was very charming. It was very, very funny to me. But again, it's personal taste. I have boomer humor, sorry.
Boomer
all,
humor.
So. Yeah.
It happens. It happens if you were raised by boomers. This show is filmed all over the place. It's got a lot of locations in Europe. It's mostly in Budapest, is that right?
Yeah, so they shot in Budapest, Slovenia, Jordan, and Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, which interesting that
very interesting.
Almost none of it is happening in Los Angeles or New York or any of those. Like Atlanta is sort of becoming a hub, its own Hollywood. It's interesting because when you film outside of LA, which is a union state, you don't have to follow a lot of the union regulations. So it'd be interesting to find out if this is a union show. If you film in other countries, you can, hire local actors. You don't have to pay minimums. It's an interesting budgetary hack, but there's also some really interesting, visuals that we get because of it, because we're seeing completely different countries. We're seeing different cultures and
It's a
the
different
integration
feel
of
with
one
any of the
scene
show.
shot in one place and ending up in another. Like it's done very well. I mean, just to cap this off, is this like MCU movie quality, or would you say that this is like just sort of good TV?
Brian, that's probably more for you because you're a bigger fan of MCU than both of us. Because the visuals were not that great, right? As to most of MCU.
Yeah.
MCU films.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I could really answer that though, because I don't know. I don't know if this is really like, I think it's just a good show. You know what I mean? I'm just going to go with that and just keep it at that because
Works for me.
yeah, cuz I mean I'm not like this huge like Marvel fan though. You know what I mean? I'm not like this
No,
over the top
but
like Die Hard.
Yeah, but visually, you probably
Visually?
like see.
Well, I was
Is
just
it
trying.
the same as? Would you say the Iron Man from like?
No.
Oh, the second
No.
one was quite. No.
No. And there's one scene, I don't know, I was actually, getting to this earlier, but like there's one scene where like it was the chase scene where there's like a car, one of the cars, I don't know. I just found it weird, like the special effects and like the cars going off the cliff. It looked so like fake. It didn't like
It was unpolished.
Yeah,
Yes,
it did not
it
look
was.
good at all. Like one of the cars going off the cliff just looked horrible. So, and I wanted to point that out, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. So
I'd kind of like to see some deliberately bad CGI. I feel like we're ready for that in a comedic sense. But
Do you
enough
think it
about,
was because? But hang on, but I mean, I can defend that slightly because I'm reading now that the filming took place only last year from April to October. So if they only wrapped in October and they already released it, maybe there are just really rough time constraints. That's why they didn't have time to polish those sequences. Or do you think is that plenty of time?
Andrew?
seems like it would be a lot of time.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. Especially when you got people locked up at home working, overtime, being like, all right, well, I'm here, might as well just get it all done. People who can't stop working.
Yeah. I don't think you use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
I think you still have to put out a polished product and still, because, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, with the pandemic and everything being pushed back, I mean, it still gives you time to like work and do stuff.
No excuse. Disney.
No excuse, no sympathy. But hey, we're going to watch it for the next month, and I wonder what's going to happen. I want answers. I have so many questions. I want answers.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see more. So
I agree.
I'm interested.